Hello. Now, I don't know if anybody's watching or if anybody's there yet. Well, obviously there isn't anybody watching just yet. So I am ready right now to answer any questions that anyone might have on objection handling. So the idea of this stream really was for me to open myself up to you guys and see if I can help you with objections that you might have, anything that you think is extremely challenging or anything that you think is a repetitive objection that you keep getting for some reason. We can explore that. We can have a look at why you're getting that objection and how you can manage that and control the call to where you need to take the call to. So if you have any objections that you want me to help you with, just go ahead and send me a quick message. I am ready to be challenged, put it that way. You challenge me as much as you like on cold calling objections, whether they are decision makers objections or whether they are gatekeeper objections. Throw them out there. Let's see what we can get from them. But the reality is that I have I've come across so many different types of objections. It's very difficult to box them and say they're the same because the situation could very much be different. The reasons why people are giving you the objection could be different, but let's try and put some context around your objectives. So give me your objections. Tell me what you want me to help you with, and just give me some context behind it as well so that I can try to give you some advice, some answers, some options, or some ways that you could perhaps get around those objections, answer them, and feel more comfortable, more confident in your cold calling. So what I thought I'd do is, until somebody does interrupt me, I've got some data here. You know what I'm going to do? I've got this huge spreadsheet of data. And I think I might just do a quick, I don't know, why don't I just run my finger over my mouse and do a free scroll and see what comes up and maybe just make a call. I am literally just going to pick up some that I've never spoken to before. I think that's probably the best ones to do at a time like this. Let's see. Is this one I've never spoken to? Okay, so I've got no notes against it, so I guess I could call this one. Don't have anything here. Remember, just send me a message on here, on the chat here, and let me answer any questions that you have or any objections that you might have. I will stay here for some time, depending on what comes through. Let's see, what's this one? Okay, so. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through with you what I would do. Now, this is a company where it's one ledger. Obviously, I am not going to be able to put this on loudspeaker for you to hear, because what I don't want to do is breach any data protection that there is with anybody. So let's have a look. If I can get through. So I would generally, I'd have a very quick look at what the company is, because if you don't, and somebody asks you a question about it, then you might look a little foolish not knowing what it is. So what if I just put this in here, and I'm going to have a look at the website to see what these guys are all about. So this is a leisure hotel business. I'm just going to go straight in, see what they have. It's basically breaks, live shows, offers. All right. So what am I thinking with this business right now? I'm thinking under the current climate with this business right now, when you're looking at holiday businesses, hotels, etc., there is a real limit on what they have on what their business is going to be able to do right now, because obviously with COVID going on, you can't, there's not really going to be much there in terms of business for them. So it'd be interesting to see how they're managing that and where their sales are right now. So I'm going to call them just to understand a little bit more about what they're doing under the current climate, because it gives me an insight into that particular industry. So if I have any more calls to make to that industry, I might get a heads up from learning from this one. Right, so this is an option thing. Hi, Nat. You literally calling in Texas a week ago. How was your cold calling? Let me know. So I've got a voicemail at the moment, and it's just literally going through and through because there's nobody in the offices, and then it stops. So when you were cold calling in Texas a week ago, what challenges did you have? Did you have any particular objections that you came across that you didn't like, or is there anything that you could teach me or us from, or anyone else that might listen or watch this later about the cold calls that I can read out? If you want to just message me back, that would be great. In the meantime, I'll just see if there's another one I can just call. Okay, here's one. Just pop it in there. Okay, I know them. I know what they do. Let's just see if there's anything particular that they're doing right now. Often when I'm looking at a company website, you can sometimes just see where they're at in terms of what their focus is. But right here, right away on one of their pages, I've noticed the word training. For me, that's important because obviously I'm calling about training, and it seems that they're very good with training, constant training. That's important to them. So I'm gonna just very quickly give them a call and see how they feel about sales training. I know that it's quite different to the sort of training they're probably used to. And just so you know who it is Watling JCB, sorry, Watling JCB. Plants, diggers, etc. Probably know them, similar to Timberland. Let's have a look. Let's see if there is anyone in the office for me to speak to. Hi, Millie. I wonder if I can speak to somebody about sales training. Well, we provide bespoke sales training for sales teams for skills and behavioral. And I wanted to see where you guys are on that right now. I know the situation is quite different, I'm sure, but just wanted to get a heads up and a bit of an understanding. I think the name I had was Michelle Goodwin. Okay, thank you. Hi, Junaid. Thanks for joining us. Do you have any questions for me? Currently on hold. Do you hear that? Hello? So I'm not familiar with that sound. Hello? Hello? Hi. Is there anybody there? I didn't recognize the sound, so I'm going to call you back. Okay. So what happened there? I don't know. What happens? What happens in these situations? Okay, don't forget, give me your objections, send them to me, right? Write me, talk to me. Okay, I just want to ask one thing. People hang up my call whenever I call. It broke my heart. It would, Zane, hi. It would break my heart too if people kept putting the phone down when I call them. So what are you selling? And quite often people, it's really difficult. If you're a B2C salesperson, you're selling into domestic households, then the biggest problem you've got is people actually listening, giving you any time whatsoever. It's a little bit more, it's a little bit easier when you're calling B2B. But if you're calling B2B and people are putting the phone down on you, you've got to ask yourself, what are you saying that's making them put the phone down? And do you keep saying the same thing over and over again? And let me ask you, are you using a script? If you're using a script, maybe the script is wrong. And now I've said time and time again, you shouldn't use scripts anyway. I don't like scripts. They're not good. They're not what I like to use. So if you're using a script, dump it. Have a look at what you're saying. If you want to write me what you're saying, send it over and I'll have a look at it. I'm going to try this number again, guys, because what happened was I got cut off. So somehow I had a really weird tone and then it went. Just to say again, the reason I can't put this on loudspeaker right now is because it is data protection. And I don't want to break the law, basically. Millie, hi, it's me again, Shia. I spoke to you a moment ago and you were going to put me through to Sarah, but I got a really funny tone and then it just went dead. Thank you. So I'm just doing some calls in between your questions because I think if it's to fill time, and also it kind of helps you because you get to see me doing it. Hi, Luke. You call for financial consultancy and you get the objection. This call all the time. Okay. Right. Okay. So I get you. Hello. Hi, is that Sarah? Hi, Sarah. My name's Shia. I don't know if you got the call last time, but it kind of went all funny and then that's all right. That's all right. I thought it was me. So okay, I'm reaching out to you because we provide bespoke sales training, but what I wanted to do first is understand a little bit more about your situation there and what your thoughts are with regards to sales training right now. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. So, do you think it would be worth my speaking to the sales director? Well, what we have is bespoke sales training. So we tailor sales training for people based on their needs, their requirements, and we tailor it so that it reflects your company, your brand, your products, etc. So how does the buying process work with these things? Are you the person that would make the decision, or is the sales director the decision maker? Who am I sort of aiming this at? The sales director. Okay, and so I was pointed in your direction, just so I understand, Sarah. Where do you fit in the bigger picture? Sorry. Oh, right. Okay, so you're the HR. Yeah, great. So you're obviously supporting the sales director. Okay. So do you want me to send an email to you or to both of you? How do you want me to do this? Yeah, yeah. It's been a tough year. Okay. Fab. Okay, can you just give me your email address then and I'll. Yeah, yeah. Hyphen. Okay, brilliant. Fantastic, Sarah. Thank you so much. I will speak to you very soon. Take care now. Bye. So what happened there was I had a call with somebody who was the HR manager. So the HR manager, HR for me, generally they support the sales director who is the actual decision maker. So I actually wanted to get to the decision maker, but she's working from home. They can't transfer it. However, I'll send an email and I'll chase that up. The idea is to get, for me, I think my next objective with that particular call, I'm going to put down for myself, is to find out who that director is and to get through to that person. But what I have found out is a little bit about the company, the fact that they have sales teams, the fact that they do sales training in-house, which means there's an opportunity for me from outside. So you see how that was a call where I'm going to come away from that call and I'm feeling great about it, even though I didn't speak to the decision maker, because what it's done is it's given me enough information to know how to direct my time chasing that one next time I do it. So I'm not just endlessly chasing. I've got some information that I can work on and I know where to go next. Okay, let's come to your questions. Luke, you said that you call financial consultancy and you get the objection that you get this call all the time. Yeah. Now, that's going to be down to what you're saying. Remember, in my videos, I've said quite often, you've got to be fresh with your approach. If you know other people who are cold calling in your industry and you know what they're saying, try to be different. Remember, you're different to everybody else. So don't use the same script. Don't use a script is what I would say. And don't say the same things that they're saying. The smart thing to do would be to think about what's going on in life right now, and when you're calling them, be quick, off the mark, get to the point, say what you're trying to say, break the ice with a nice question. You saw me do it just then. Hopefully you were online when I made this call initially. It was straight in with who can I speak to? Where do I go? Right? So try that, but be fresh about it. sometimes it's, sometimes I've picked up the phone, somebody's picked it up and they go, wow, that was quick. You answered that one quickly. Break the ice, carry on, just keep it moving. So, yeah, I think if I'm honest with you, I think the reason people say they get this call a lot is because of that. Now, if you get that, how do you answer it? So I would say to them, okay, do you really? That's interesting. And do you talk to anybody? Have you spoken to anybody that you've heard this from? And if not, why not? Just sort of have the conversation, find out a little bit more about, really how many times have you, so you're obviously getting a lot of these calls. What are people offering you? Do you know? Can you say, that kind of thing? The idea is always to just try and start to have a conversation about whatever it is. If they're having those calls, they've made a statement, they're not making an objection to you, they're not saying they don't want to speak to you, they're saying that they get lots of these calls. You've got to respond in a way that embraces what they're saying, acknowledges what they're saying, but you're able to turn it around into a conversation. Okay, that's interesting. So a lot of people are after you. Could that be because do you have a contract currently with somebody? I don't know your situation, obviously, your what you're selling and how you're selling it. But if you want to talk to me offline, please do. Feel free to send me an email at shea@wisemeup.co.uk, and I'm happy to pick that up with you then, or give me some more information on here now, and I can answer it for you now. And also, I can come on a Zoom call with anybody if you want to. Okay, Junaid, I call for digital services. I'm just kind of off the screen there a little bit. Digital services and gatekeeper most of the time don't transfer to the decision maker. Right, well, you're not going to get, right now, if people, first of all, there's a couple of things happening right now. With COVID, people working from home, transfers are hard to get anyway, right? So you're gonna find that it is difficult. But the key thing is, if you can't get transferred, find out who the decision maker is. See if you can get a direct dial to those people. If it's a case of they can transfer you, they are in the same place, they're just not transferring you, then you need to really think about what is it that you're saying that's making them think they don't want to transfer you. Why won't they transfer you? If you've spoken to somebody, I'd be interested to know if you've called them back and they still aren't transferring you. See, the way I think of that sometimes is, I've got nothing to lose now. I've tried this person a few times. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to say, okay, I have called you a number of times and I never seem to get through. Am I calling at the wrong time of day? Am I calling? What's a good time for me to call where I'm going to actually be able to get transferred to the decision maker? Help me out here. Sometimes if you put yourself in a humble position to the gatekeeper, then they're more likely to help you. If you become defensive and you try and, be clever, or you try to outsmart them, then they're going to get defensive back at you. So then they really won't want to let you get through. So you've really got to put them on a pedestal and put yourself down a little bit so that you can help, and so that you're looking for them to help you. Saying I don't use a script, okay, because at the beginning I thought it's a cup of tea for me to get appointments, but after getting hang-ups, I realize it's not like that. Crazy, but they always connect to voicemail. Right, okay, so Zane, coming back to, so you had said originally they just hang up on you. You thought it was going to be easy. You don't use a script. Okay, so what is it? So if they're hanging up on you, at what point during your call do they hang up? Because you need to identify that. Sometimes you can, it's really good to record. I know this sounds crazy, and I know you probably don't want to do this, but record yourself, record your calls, listen back to it, see where they're hanging up, actually play them back and think to yourself, right, this is where they keep hanging up. It's every time I say this. So maybe you need to change your approach. Maybe you need to change your introduction. Maybe you're talking too much. Maybe you're not saying, you're asking them a question at the wrong time. Quite often I've heard that, can I have 2 minutes of your time? Hi, my name is Shea. I'm here to talk to you about sales training. Can I have 2 minutes of your time? What they're going to say? They're going to say no. Why are they going to say no? Because they don't have time. Who has time to talk to a cold caller these days? Come on, think. Nobody has time to talk to a cold caller, so they're not going to talk to you, right? So why are you asking them a question that's giving them an easy get out clause to hang up? Now, if they're not saying anything and they're just hanging up on you, you really do have to think about how you're coming across. I keep saying you've got to come across fresh. For me, that's friendly, reliable, enthusiastic, sincere, happy, whatever words you want to use that fit the acronym of FRESH. Use it. It's it's a way of being yourself. Remember, you are not the same as the next person calling. There could be dozens of people selling the same thing as you. The only differentiator is you. So the first thing you are going to sell is you, not your product, not your service, nothing else, not your company. The very first thing you are selling on a cold call is you. And the fear you have, the first fear you will have is, will they reject you? Because that is a natural fight or flight instinct that people have. It's a reptilian brain thing, psychological thing. And that's the reason why a lot of people don't like picking that phone up to make the call, because the fear isn't making the call as such, isn't being able to talk to people. The fear isn't about the product or the services or anything else like that. The fear is, will they like me? Will they listen to me? And that happens in the first few seconds of that call, right? So what you've got to be able to do is just literally get over this fear of rejection. Get on the phone. Remember that, you are somebody with skill, you're somebody with knowledge, you're somebody with expertise. But the first thing you are is a human being, and you're somebody. You are a person, you're an individual, and you've got something about you. So let them feel that something about you. Let them hear that something about you. Be the human you are. You do not have to have that telephone manner on the phone, all right? You're, this is myth. It's like wearing a tie. Do you need to wear a tie to work? No, of course you don't. Do you need to change who you are on the phone? No, of course you don't. Because the reason you're hired to make these calls is because you are who you are. The reason anybody hired you, the reason you're in sales, is because you've got something about you. So sell that first. Sell that first to the person so that they don't reject you. So they embrace you as a person, right? On an equal footing, on an equal level, right? So what's coming through? So connecting to voicemail. Okay, so Crazy Nine, you said, but they always connect to voicemail. So voicemail is great connecting to. Now, there's two ways you can look at this. I'm going to tell you a little story about something. When I really want somebody because I'm not getting through to them, then I will leave a voicemail. But I'll leave a voicemail when I've tried to call a number of times and it hasn't gone through, and I've emailed and I've LinkedIn and I've DM'd and stalked as much as you possibly can. Then I might leave a message on the phone. So generally I wouldn't say leave a message on the phone. If I do get, if it's constant or consistent with one particular person, then I might say to them, hey, look, I keep getting your voicemail. I really need to speak to you. I'm going to DM you. I might even stalk you now, but look, just come back to me. Tell me what the situation is. When you just lay your cards on the table like that, you find that people come back to you. So the story I was going to tell you, a long time ago, I called a sales director for obviously a cold call. And the guy said to me, oh, can you call me later on? I know about 5 o'clock because I'm going to be in a meeting. I said, yeah, no problem. So I called at 5. He said, okay, still in the meeting, call you back, call me back. I called back. This time, when he heard my name, he hung up. So what did I do? I called him straight back. And I called him straight back. And when I called him straight back, he hung up straight away. And it went to voicemail. So what I did is I left a voice message saying, I've never come across somebody in sales who's in a senior position as you, who is as rude as you are to salespeople. It's really not right, because you have salespeople, and I really hope that your salespeople aren't treated in the same way. And you know what? The very next morning at 7:30, the guy called me to apologize, and we had a great meeting. So what I'm saying is use the voicemail, but use it wisely. Okay, if you keep getting through to a voicemail of one person, then yes, at one point you might have to, if you can't get through any other way. Another way of handling that is to say to the gatekeeper or the other person that you speak to, hey, look, put me through to somebody that they work with, because their voicemail's always on and I'm not getting through to the person at all. I don't even know if they're there, or again, what's the best time? How do I get hold of this person? Yeah. So try that with when it's voicemail. Whenever I say hello, they hang up the call. I don't know, maybe I sound like Hitler. Okay. So yeah, I think you might need to change your, don't say hello, I don't know, say, hey, don't hang up. Why don't you try that instead? Hey, before you hang up, try that, see if that works. I'm quite interested in that. I'd like to see you in action on your calls. If you've got any recordings, send them to me. Even if they're hanging up on my call, just say hello. How could they transfer my call? Even they are hanging up my call, just by when you say hello, how could they transfer my call? Okay, don't quite understand that question there, Zane, so you might have to just send it to me again so I can understand it. Hopefully I am answering your questions that you have right now. I don't know if it's helping. Give me some feedback. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you want to hear. Give me some specific objections that you're getting. I can give you the answers to those objections if you let me know. I'm going to stay on here for about 20 more minutes and then I will be leaving for another meeting. But while you're thinking about what to say, I am going to update my notes and I am also going to make another cold call. So where was my last one? Okay, let's make some notes here and send it. I'll tell you what, I'll write this email and you can see what kind of thing I would generally write. What's the date? 26, 21. Sarah, who has taken over. I don't know if you make notes on a database and how you make them, but I always think it's important that you write what you learn and not what you said, because you know what you said, right? So what's the point in writing down what you already said? That's pretty obvious. What you want to do is you want to write what they said to you, because that's the information that's new for you to get. So we got spoken to Sarah, who has taken over from Michelle, and has only been in the job for a year. I talk loud, don't I? Sorry. But open conversation. Send email. Start. And sales director is decision maker. Now, right, so right here at the end of my notes, I'm just going to make a note of what I think I need to do next. The next thing that I need to do, as I said to you earlier, was find out the DM details and get to speak to them when you can. On that note, here's a really good, I mean, you can't hide from anyone these days, can you? Because it's all out there. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to just see if on LinkedIn I can have a look at the company. Okay, so I've got the company. I'm just going to have a quick look at the people there and see if I can find. Okay, so I have found the person. Got them. Right. Okay. So I can write that down. Found on LinkedIn. Connect pending. Then send DM after. Okay, so here's how it is. I'm also going to see if I can find Sarah on here. So this is just me and how I do it. And okay, so got another question. What's the next step to do when someone never answers nor replies your emails? How many times do we need to follow up? Now that's, Victor, this is a really good question, and all I can say to you is this: qualify it. Whoever it is that you speak to, even if you don't get through to anybody, find out through LinkedIn, get a name, any kind of name. Now you're saying if someone never answers. When you say someone never answers, are you saying that you call them and nobody actually picks up the phone, or are you saying the decision maker that they put you through to never answers the phone? Can you just clarify that so I can actually give you some more relevant pointers on this one, because it's a good question, a really good question. Zane, can you have a Zoom call? Zane, yeah, Zoom calls, schedule Zoom calls in with me if you really want to. Just remember, I will record them and put them on YouTube. If you want my help and free help, that's the offer that I give you. By all means, throw me an invite on Zoom, Teams, whatever it is. If you have a genuine question that you want to ask me with regards to objection handling, then that's great. I will record it, obviously taking out any data protection if we're speaking about any of your clients, and I'll put it on YouTube, because that's what I will do if it's a free coaching session that you want from me. And I have no problem with that, because I'm all about helping where I can. Okay. Did you see my latest, hopefully you saw my latest video on what makes a great salesperson. Oh, you really have to be commercially minded as well when you're doing this, so remember. Can I have Zoom call? Please record a video on how to get past gatekeepers. I think I have already, Zane, a number of them, but I will have a look and see if I need to have if I need to add anything, if there's anything missing. Have a look. Tell me, is there anything missing? If there's something missing, then I'm happy to record that question on there. Send the DM. Okay, after Sarah. So I was just going to find Sarah, wasn't I? Right, I got distracted by the question there. Sorry. Here we go. Sarah, we got her. So why didn't I connect with her too? And I'll send an email, which I have got. Not good on paper. Right. Someone means the client. Okay, so Victor, when you say the client, i.e. you're talking about not being passed through. I'm guessing you're then talking about not being passed through to the decision maker, or the decision maker is the person who isn't picking up the phone. So that's when okay, the question here, the bottom line is, when do you stop calling them? When do you stop chasing them? Well, in my view, until you've qualified that opportunity, you shouldn't, because you can't write it off. If you don't know what's involved and what the size of that opportunity is, then you shouldn't really write it off. What you should be doing is trying to find out what you can from other people that will answer the phone in that organization, to get as much information as you can about how much of an opportunity that prospect is for you as a company. Remember, it's not just that one person that might be involved in making decisions. Quite often we call a decision maker, we talk about a decision maker, but it's not always, the decision maker. It's quite often decision-making unit, or there are influencers, and there are other people, end users, there are stakeholders, there are lots of other people who might be involved, or need to be involved, or need to be thought about or considered when you're trying to sell something, because what you might be offering might not just impact one person, right? So it's all very well that there might be one person holding the purse strings, but there might be several people in that person's ear telling them where to spend that money and where, because they've got a big responsibility. If it is one person who's the DM, they've still got a big responsibility. It's looking after an expense or an investment that might impact a lot of other people. So their decision is quite a big decision to be made. So yes, what I would say is ask around, find out, who else there is in the business that you can find and get information from. You can quite easily look on LinkedIn. I just did. I found some information. You can look on websites. Quite often there's information on websites as well that you can get. Zane, whenever I have a call with a gatekeeper, I used to ask, could you please tell me who is handling your marketing department? They often hang up the call and sometimes give the answer. What do you think it is I should avoid? What do you think is it should I avoid this question to avoid hanging up? What question, Zane? What question do you ask? Because I'm not quite right. You have a call with a gatekeeper. You used to ask, could you please tell me who is handling your marketing department? That's fine. They often hang up. Right. Okay. Do you introduce yourself? I mean, surely you're saying, hi, my name's Zane, and I'm calling from, I just need to speak to somebody in your marketing department, please. Is that what you're saying? Because if that's what you're saying and they're hanging up, you do need to think about why they might be hanging up. If it was me, I hung up on you, it could be because I'm getting too many of those calls. It could be because the tone of your voice. Do you have an accent? Are you calling from an Indian call center? If you're calling from an Indian call center, then that could be the reason people are hanging up, because outsourced call centers, people have this view of, and I'm, forgive me, I don't mean anything by this, but there is a view that it's very cutthroat, just direct selling without any empathy. It's just a numbers game sort of thing. If you're in that situation, then yes, it is going to be difficult and challenging for you, but then you have to think about what might turn the tide. How about you say something like, this is a call from I'm a caller calling you from a call center in India, and the reason I'm calling is because we want to see if there's anything that we offer that might be of interest to you. Perhaps you need to, you've just got to be creative. Think about it. Think about what it would be like to be in their shoes. Yeah. I often say to people, would you listen to you? And if you would, then fine. If you wouldn't, which most people do say they wouldn't listen to themselves if they were the recipient of their cold call, then change what you're saying. Now, it could also be that if you're calling into a different country from another country, it could be a cultural thing, in which case you need to think about what's the cultural differences. Learn about the culture in the other country. Learn about calls over there. Network with people. There's technology today doesn't limit you at all. It means you can absolutely network with anybody you want anywhere in the world. So network with people and find out what it's like in another country. I might put a little video out about that, calling different countries. Cultural differences. Okay, so have we got any specific objections that anybody would like me to answer? Objections such as not interested, have no time, don't have the budget. I don't know, what kind of objections do you get? Give me some objections that you might get that are genuine objections. You think they're genuine objections that you're getting from a gatekeeper. I have just about 5 minutes, and then I will be coming off the live stream. So let me know. I might just make another quick call. You're very welcome, Zane. So, okay, I'm going to make one last call. There's no more questions, and then I'll be out of here. Let's just see if this one has anybody there. I don't even know who they are on this occasion. Did I have a look? Let's have a quick look. I've just got the number wrong. That was odd. Right, what are this group? Let's have a look. Quick have a look what the group is. Okay. That's right. Oh, phones. Hiya, can I speak to Mark Powell, please? It's Shia from Wise Me Up. It is all about sales training. Oh, God. Oh, dear. My data's old. Oh, God, there's something to sort out, isn't there? Who's in charge of it? Sorry, I didn't get your name. Vicky. Who's the person that I need to speak to? Who's in charge of sales now? Just direct sales, so your field sales. Who would you say? And what do you do for training with sales training? Do they have it sort of internally, or do they sort of source out for it? Okay, great. So is there somebody who coordinates it all? There's no one particular person. Do I have to speak to them individually? Right. So in terms of the structure, so that's fine, and I can absolutely do that, Vicky. Thank you for that. In terms of the structure, you'll have all the sales directors, but is there one head of sales? No, right, okay, and that's because they're all right. Right. Well, what I might do then, Vicky, is having learned that, I think I need to go away and learn a little bit more about your group. Yeah. And then sort of approach them individually, yeah? All right. What do you do there? Oh, are you yourself? Oh, okay. So you're sales. Is that why you're talking to me? Bless you. Because you know what it's like, don't you? Are you working from home right now? Oh, okay. Bless you. Well, and so that's why you know you have training internally rather than externally, right? Yeah. Have you ever had it externally, do you know? Okay. Which one do you work for then? Oh, ceramics and energy. Right. Okay. So who's your boss? Oh, is it? Right. Can I email them? You might as well now. I've got the. And what's her name? Kim. Okay. So, all right. So I'll address her to send it on to him. Yeah. All right. Brilliant. Vicky, you've been really helpful. Have a great day. Take care now. Bye. Okay, that was my last call. I have had another question. When following up clients, sometimes they say that they will get back to me when they are ready to sign up with my services, but never get back to me. When would be the right time to follow up? Again, good question, Victor. I'm just going to very quickly answer that. The time to follow up is the time that you set when you say you're going to follow up. So when they've said, when you've agreed the deal, you've agreed the sign off with that person, that's when you should agree the follow-up date. So for example, okay, that's great, in which case I will expect something signed from you by, and what I'll do is I'll give you a call on just to make sure everything's okay for you, and that you've understood everything and there's no questions that you've got. That'll save you chasing me. Okay, so something along those lines. You should always set your follow-up communication dates with people at the time that you're speaking to them. So meeting there, you're going to follow up there. That's got to be agreed here. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. All right, thanks everyone. I do have to shoot, but it's been interesting as a stream. If you want me to carry on doing this every week, give me a shout and I will do. If there's a better time for me to do this, let me know, because not everybody has been able to come on at this time. I'll probably try to schedule one a bit later on in the afternoon as well. All right, have a fantastic weekend, everybody. That's it from me. Bye.